Good morning, day 2 of your favourite financial physicist wearing a flannel, my second flannel. And today I wanted to go through the budget, and I just want to, for want of better words, unpack what was in the budget in about 3 minutes, just so that you know that I know what I'm talking about, and B, you clearly have it in your mind as well. So many would say this was a very Labor budget, and it was. Albo and Jim Chalmers sold it as being a movement of generational wealth from the baby boomers through to the millennials. They didn't use those words, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to reposition the generational wealth. Is that what's happening? That's another question, and we'll deal that right at the end, at the end of my series, because I don't want to sort of cloud these things at the moment. So there are a few really fundamental changes. The first one, negative gearing has gone for residential investment properties purchased after the budget, so the 12th of May this year. If it's a residential property, existing property, you cannot claim negative gearing. Now, that is a fundamental change because negative gearing has been in for many, many years. And what that means is if you buy the house next to your house and it's been there for 20 years, today, you cannot claim the cost of the interest and the rates and the water rates and anything else repairs against your income. You have to accumulate that loss in your tax return until you sell that property, and then you claim it off there. So that's the first thing. Can't claim negative gearing. You can claim negative gearing, however, if the purchase is of what they define as a new build. So that is new duplex, new unit, new house, new housing stock on new land. If it was an existing house, knocked down and rebuilt, I don't think that's a new build. So there's going to be some clarification of that, I think. So that's the second major thing, is negative gearing for new builds. However, negative gearing still applies if you buy commercial property. So that's going to open up opportunities. So yeah, so that's negative gearing. The other big change is capital gains tax. We had, for many years, since the Howard government, we have had concessional, what they call CGT, capital gains tax, where the gain is cut in half, so 50%, and then you're taxed at the marginal rate. If there are two people, it's cut in half again and taxed at the marginal rate on that. Going forward, and I actually don't mind this, going forward, the capital gain we worked out on an indexed amount, so adjusted for inflation. So if you bought something for $100,000, inflation was 3% every year, and you hold it for 10 years, it would be worth, $180,000. You sold it for 200, your capital gain against that inflation is $20,000. However, the minimum you have to pay on that capital gains is now 30%. So if you had zero income and your gain was $20,000, you wouldn't pay much tax. Now, regardless, you'll pay 30% tax. And that, again, is a real fundamental shift. That's not about generational wealth, just quietly. That's about tax. So it's a real disincentive. Now, that also applies to business as well. If you sell business assets, you sell your business. And that's been really in the media, in social media, and we will deal with that on another one. So yeah, so they're the main things. The other big thing out of the budget was the changes to the NDIS, which frankly I think is overdue, and they've taken about 30% of the NDIS current budget and tipped it out. It's not, you're not going to be able to claim it going forward. So they're the main things that we are talking about. There are some other things in there, but they are the main things that really affect people. So that's my summary for today. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll talk more about negative gearing and what are the winners and losers in that, and how it will work. All right, thank you. Talk later. Bye.